Hey there YouTube, this is Mr. Chrono666 and I am here today to do a very quick video, and this is how to easily install your Bivert chip into a DMG, the original Game Boy. Now I got everything lined up here. Got to have the awesome Bivert chip, yeah, have it nearby. And if you've installed a white or red or green, any kind of colored backlight, you have to install a resistor because you want to make sure you can play the Pokemon games. You want to be able to play any of the deluxe games that have different color palettes. Granted, you can't really see it on the original. You still have to do it because games like Pokemon will not function. They will completely cease to function. Well, when you're done clipping the resistor, look at that. You have these amazing little tiny wires. You know, what are you going to do with them? Are you going to throw them away? No, dummy. You want to actually use them. And I found the chip very difficult to install, probably because I'm a dummy, but you know, what I did is first I made sure I had my Game Boy set up, turned it on. Yes, it's actually a very clear looking Game Boy. We've got Kirby in there, which is fine. We actually don't even care about that. We just want to see, once we're done, that it will actually be biverted. Well, inverted, I'm installing the Bivert chip. So the first thing you want to do, I take a medium-sized screwdriver, flathead. Zoom in on that. See, it's because the head is flat. It is not a Phillips. So what I do is I find the exact spot that I have to go. Let me refocus the camera. There we go. I know you can't see it, but you have to use your own judgment while you're doing it. Look for the spots that you want to do. I find my exact two spots. I just gently move the wires with my screwdriver in between the points. I actually move the pins. Does not take much force at all. I'm very picky. I do not actually desolder these to get it removed. Take a little razor like so, go down, lift the pin up. It's so easy. Anyone can do it. So hopefully, you know, everyone's with me at this point. No issues. After I lift my pins up, I always take a pair of needle nose pliers and I bend it up a little bit and then bend it down, and this gives the pins a little bit of a downward curvature. You want it to bend into the chip, no problem. Next, you want to take soldering iron, and what I'm going to do is, these wires are actually a little too big. I'm very conservative with my materials, so I am going to cut these in half. This will still be enough wire for me personally to successfully put it in there, and this gives me 4 connectors when I only need 3. So once you got those done, go ahead and get your wires ready. Always prepare it with a little daub of solder. You make sure I've got that ready, and I am by far nowhere near the best solderer ever. I just partial self-taught, partial military training. It works really, just getting the job done. So I'm making sure my soldering iron won't move my hot glue gun to the ground. That would not be cool. Thank you, hot glue gun, for getting the fuck out of my way. Okay, let's continue. A little bit of solder. There we go. Ooh, that iron is hot. And I always prepare my first point with a little dab of solder. That kind of warms up the solder itself. Quickly just stick that little wire in there. There we go. Really doesn't take much. Now you've already got one very posable point attached. There we go. It's hard to see. There it is. Yep, it is there. I guarantee it. So you've got one down, and the other two are actually much easier to use. I really think you should clean your tip before you go any further. Use a little soldering iron cleaner. It's basically a metal scrubby put inside of a container. Yeah, look, I see myself wearing a Pikachu shirt. All right, once that's clean, go ahead and start here because there is plenty of solder at these points. You will not have to worry about excess solder. And if you have excess solder, you could possibly bridge a couple of random points. You don't want that. So Let's refocus the camera. There we go. Let's go ahead and let's get them soldered in. Just touch the base of it. It'll heat up. The wire will go right in. Hopefully not burning you. Again, I'm crazy. It sometimes does burn me a little bit, but, you know, for science, it's okay. Ah, like right there. The pain lets me know I'm alive. That's okay. It's fighting me just a little bit. So you know what? Just get enough solder on your tip. You know, it all depends on what you're dealing with. So there we go. I've warmed you up. I've put a little extra solder in there. Clean off the tip. Good enough. All right. Get the fuck in there. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. 2 down. Grab your last wire. As soon as you can grab it. Wash, rinse, repeat. Do the exact same thing. And see, that's the best part about this is you have little things you can quickly put the chip into, and there's no question about the connection because you've already got the solid connection at the base. Now you've got these wonderful wires that are going to fill in the excess. Awesome. Give it a half a second to dry. And now that that's done, take your chip, focus on it. Ooh, come on, come on. There it is. Beautiful handheld legend chip. Now let's go back down here. Go ahead and slide it over those 3 wires. And you'll notice you're like, "Aw, shit, it doesn't fit up exactly. That's not cool. Mr. Chrono, you're a lying fuckhead." Well, I do like to lie sometimes, but I'm not lying to you right now. So what I'm going to do, watch closely, I'm going to do this thing that's called magic. Okay? Put my soldering iron back. And I'm going to take the chip and I'm going to wedge it forward, right? Those wires we put in there, they're really thin and very bendable. A little too bendable sometimes. I just bent that way too much, but that's okay. Look how close I am to the pins now. There's going to be no difficulty in getting that in there. Let's refocus the camera. Refocus. There. Refocus with my nose. Good nose. See? Now, it's very much loose right now, so you need to solder it. Don't dawdle. Don't waste any time. So I really want it to stay. So there's many ways you can go about this. You can quickly solder the pins, or you can solder where the holes are. Again, no right or wrong answer. This glue gun needs to fuck off. It keeps like trying to fall on the ground. Okay. Ow, ow, ow. Then things are sharp too. Don't just stab yourself like me. Safety, children. Safety. Okay, I moved the pins apart a little bit. Okay, so what you're going to do now is, let me see if I can actually let you guys see it. That'll do. Alright, so I'm just going to get just a little spot of solder. You don't need much. And I'm just going to solder that right connector. There, doesn't take long, doesn't take much. Right connection complete. And now it's just a little more sturdy than it would have been before. I have enough solder, but just a dab of solder. Go ahead and, excuse me, get the other side. Look at that shit. The other side is now done. And you've just soldered what's considered the hardest parts. Now comes the easy part. All you have to do, just line up. And go ahead and just put a little speck of solder. Right. Come on. Heat up. Come on. I know you can do it. There we go. A little bit. Nope. That decided to get stuck on my soldering iron. But that's okay. I will just put that in the spot that I'm going to need a little soldering later for the ground. So I'm going to clean it off and I'm going to try again. All right. come on, let go of that pin. That's okay. I left a little extra drop of solder. I touched it off. No big deal. Just making sure nothing's connected. Nope. Everything looks good. Go ahead and get a little dab in the last spot. Just a little more. There we go. You have made all the connections. At this point, you want to go ahead and you want to trim off the excess. All right. Now that that's done, you go ahead and take your prepared wire, as mine was not prepared, so I'm going to quickly strip it. Remember, children, don't have a stripper at home unless you have parental supervision. Go ahead, strip the tip off. Boop. Don't need much. Quick little twist. Go ahead. I just want to solder just a little bit on there. There we go. Beautiful. All right, now that that's done, I'm going to go ahead. I get my spot over here done first because that's always a harder spot. I don't like putting excess stress on the handheld legend solder point. Okay. You have second. Now it's dried off. Nice and secure. Go ahead. Make sure you guys can see it. Put it right there. And solder ahoy. Yeah, make sure not to brush your finger against the soldering iron like I just did. Not a good choice, children. It's a very big glob of solder, but that's okay. I regret nothing. Except, there we go. Once it's hardened, you're good to go. And I can use my desoldering wick real quick, but that's too much work. So I'm just going to hold this wire in place while I just lightly dab off that little excess. That's good enough to please me. And now you're done. Chip's installed. Let's go ahead, make sure it works. Plug our screen right back in. Oh shit, look at that. Fucking easy. So if anyone's having trouble with the chip, I'm telling you this is so easy. This does not compute, does a way better job than me at installing it, but I thought this was super easy, and I thought I'd show you my unique method. Okay? And once you've got that done, you want to make sure to cover everything in hot glue. You know, you don't want to be a fucking pig about it, but you want to make sure to be smooth enough. So I'll just go ahead and cover. Healthy amount of glue. This ensures that your chip doesn't move, and this also holds your soldering points in place. Now it can be messy, so take your time. Don't look like a jackass, because if any future customers open this up, you don't want them to go, damn, this guy is messy. Fuck this guy. I'm going to go somewhere else. Like, you know, somewhere else. I don't really want to bag on any other modders. And then I always try to get right down there. Some people want to take the actual main PCB out. And then just a little dab right there. That's it. You're done. I went super slow because of the video, but you did that in like 10 minutes. If you did that, good job. It's so easy. Questions, comments, you want it to do? Like, subscribe. Peace.